All right, so we're going to be taking a look at a Grandmaster game. This is another coaching session of ours. Let me make sure that my settings are actually right. All right, they are right. All right, so we're going to be looking at this game here. Why did you choose this game, aside from this map being horrendously hard to play on?
Well, I feel like so not only was this like maybe a higher ranked game because I originally had like a kind of a jump to a higher rank.
Mm-hmm.
But when I looked at like the rankings of the other team, they were like eternity players, and pretty high ranked. So I figured that not only did I do really bad in this game, but if I figure out what I did do wrong and I fix it, that would put me on the same level as the people who beat me.
I
Does that
got
make
you.
sense?
I got you. No, I got you. I got you. Yeah. It's kind of like in a fighting game, someone's way better than you, but you want to keep going against them to figure out why. And then as you get beat by them repeatedly, it's like, oh, now I'm figuring it out. And then you start to get on their level. I know exactly what you're talking about. All right. So you're positioning here. Why do you want to position here? Not saying you're right or wrong. I just like to get in your head. You know that.
So I guess to do a little bit of damage straight as they come out, and like I feel like I think it was just to do damage. I think I just started out there just so I can kind of do damage.
Okay. And let's just think about the cover that you have. You don't have a cover really here. I think both of these can be broken, but I could be wrong because I don't remember. I don't play on this that often, but I'm pretty sure that middle one can be broken. But you still have this cover you can see from, right? And we know when it comes to angles, the person closest to this has a harder time seeing you. However, when you're further away, you have an easier time seeing them. So you already have an advantage. What I would just like would be you positioning for this as your cover. So that way you don't get that returning fires. Because yeah, you get some damage off, but they also get ult charge off of you and you're low. And you can't really heal yourself unless you use your ability. So this is just something to think about for the future. It's not just saying like this particular moment, it made your gameplay extremely hard. That's not what I'm saying. But let's just say this was replicated about 3-4 times. And maybe that third time you got KO'd for it. You know what I mean? So it's just better to fix it here and identify it here than just having it happen over and over again and punish sometimes and not other times. So like, let's just say you were doing the same thing, but you were standing here. And anybody who crosses your line of sight gets lit. And it's a 1v1 type thing instead of a whole team can see you. Because they could see you when the door is closed too, so. Even like right now, I would still want you to move over here.
Yeah.
And not stay in the middle like that. Oh, you hopped off? Ooh, okay. Why did you hop off there? What was your thought process there?
So I was getting shot at by the Ultron, and so in this moment, I assumed like my tank would start contesting like that lane, so I kind of hopped off to kind of get like a good like angle on where there would be, but that really didn't happen, and so I kind of ended up like just screwing myself over.
I got you. Let's see how you get back, because yeah, you have no line of sight. What I would have liked for you to do is just take this. Just take this portal. You should end up over here, I believe. I think it's this spot. And maybe you can come over here and try to do what Moon Knight's doing. And at least you're there. It's not a good spot, but that's not a good, like no spot is good right now because of how you guys are all separated. Oh, wow. Okay. Holy. You said forget it, dude. I'm going. Respect. All right, I like how you fixed it. Disregard what I said. I didn't know you were going to go that crazy. I thought you were going to be a little bit safer. You just said, no, forget it. I do like how your team, like you could definitely tell this is a higher ranked game because higher ranked games or higher ranked players generally don't contest really awkward spots. Like in lower ranks, you would see people standing right here trying to contest with no cover. And it's kind of like it's not going to work. So
yeah,
you could definitely tell you guys try to contest here. You're waiting for it to be pushed up a little bit, finding a better location to contest. And then now we contest off of this corner here. Okay, we got to be careful of flankers. We already know that this map is flank central.
Yeah, it gets worse later on in the VOD for sure.
Uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no.
That's just a new map, man. I was right there and I was just like, oh, Bro, I was low-key kind of mad after this one.
Oh man, I will say, regardless of that, we're gonna have to look at that one more time, unfortunately. But regardless of you falling off,
Yeah.
right here, you did your job. What you do is put him in cover, making it so that he may not have line of sight on his team, which means that his drone gets put away. And we always say the same, getting them low is pretty much the same as KOing them because they can't play the game until they get back. He can't even heal himself, really. He has to get the drone to heal himself. So you did your job. So regardless of just falling down, you shouldn't be focused on him anymore. And you should be figuring out what is the next step. That's what we should be doing. So it's just funny to watch. I didn't go back to watch it happen, but just watching it happen again is pretty funny. I've been there though. You're not the only one. All right, so we're back. Remember, you have high ground to play around too. Don't be afraid to get up here and just try to play up here. You're starting to do that default funnel tactic that a lot of healers do, which is exactly what this rocket is doing as well, where we just kind of line up. But you have so many more angles to play. And when you're playing something like Luna, you have the same thought process as you would with Adam Warlock when you play him. Those angles, those high grounds, and those spots. So don't let switching to Luna like adjust your thinking on how you switch your position. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is you're not taking aggressive stances as much, more of defensive stances.
So I guess one of the reasons why I decided to switch to Luna was kind of take advantage of her like damage dealing ability. So wouldn't me taking like an off angle kind of like put me in like a weird spot when it comes to dealing damage as well? Like if go ahead.
I was gonna say, let's see if what would happen if we were to position up here instead of now. So you walked up. Oh my lord, this camera. So you walk up and you're positioned here. Do you think you still have a line of sight on your team?
Yeah, I do.
And you think if they go around that corner, you have line of sight on the enemy?
Yeah, you still do.
So, it would still be the same. You're not in an awkward positioning. The only thing that I could think of is like if you're talking about, like I said, the aggressive stance where you're a little bit closer, meaning your team might be under you. That's too close.
Yeah.
You have to do it from my side. And I'm pretty sure that she doesn't have fall off damage. I don't remember specifically, but I'm pretty sure no healer has fall off damage. Or if they do, it's a very small handful of them. But I could be wrong. So you might have to look that up, or I'll look that up. But
yeah, but no, I this sentiment I still get what you're saying.
Yeah, and then of course when you put your hand clap move on, right, that has a limited range, so you can't be too far away. So you do have to gauge the pros and cons of where you're standing, but that doesn't mean you can't move around, you know, readjust. Boom, I'm here, and then it's not working, I'm gonna move somewhere else. And just keep thinking on the fly where you can stand and just be in a better spot. Like Rocket should never be there. He's too close. But also, you should never be there. You're too close. Where are you gonna go if someone just happens to run on you? You have no escape plan here. You would just get KO'd. Now you do, right? You're close enough, but where you just were, you have no way to go. You're gonna be caught. And also in situations like this, remember we talked about having them move their camera. If you are up here, she has to choose to shoot you or the team. And then you continue to walk back. I'm pretty sure this isn't breakable. I could be wrong. Or come back and just be here. This map is really good for angles. It's good for angles and it's good for flanking. So you should never be in a situation where you feel like you have nowhere to stand to get an advantage of them, because like everywhere, this map is just so good for it. It's horrible for the tanks because there's nowhere to stand. But for everybody else, it's a good map. Okay, we're chilling. Nice. Again, I just really don't like you here. I would get you.
Yeah.
You're the type of person that I would just permanently sit on you because you're always in the same exact spot every single time. If you KO, you're back in the same spot. If you run away, you're back in the same spot. You're not hard to get to, so I just get you every single time. I don't think you watch my games that often, but there's a lot of the times where I would play cap, or really anything that's a diver, but I would look for people like you. And as soon as you get out of position, I'm going to go on you. And then I'm going to see what you do. If you run away, I'm going to catch you. Now, if you run away and he heals you, okay, but now he's looking at you and me, and he's not healing your team. Like, you would be the weak link of why you would lose a push. And you never want that. You never want that. So how we fix this is you really have to think about, am I in a spot that's easy to get to? Am I in a spot that makes it so that they can pick me off? Because in the first few minutes of a game, I always say it's like training dogs or cats or whatever you want to train that's an animal. It's like training those animals. So let's just say if I notice that let's just say I'm you, right? I'm you, and he's going to continue he goes on me once. And he's like, oh, nice. And then I do it again, and he does it again. Oh, nice. Well, guess what? For the rest of the game, he's going to do the same exact thing to you, and you're going to feel like you have no way to outplay him. But you set that up. You made it easy for him to get to you. Nobody wants to go for a hard target. That sucks. So you do have to think about that when you play. It's like, I want to be the hardest person to get to for the first few minutes of the game. Once that happens, I'm chilling. Which is why I don't usually chase Rocket. I'll test them. If I jump on a Rocket and they run away properly, I'm not going to chase them for the rest of the game. If they don't, I'm going to camp them. So. I didn't really think he was going to hold you, but, I probably should have expected that. But yeah, that's what I mean. Like, that should never happen. And like I said, you would be the reason why you lose the push, right? Because not only did you get hit, but he got hit. You guys are both in the same incorrect spot.
Yeah. And
I know you asked me before, you were like, do you think that console and PC are a little bit different when it comes to gaming? This is the same mistakes that console players make. Everybody makes the same mistakes. Everybody makes the same advantages. It's all the same. You really need to figure out where you want to stand. And again, I know this map is kind of crappy. It is. And it's not crappy like it's a bad map. So if NetEase, if you're listening, I do like the map, but it's just a hard map to play on, all right? But this guy has it figured out. He says, I'm going to sit somewhere where it's very hard to get to, and I have eyes on everything. If I need to retreat, I have options. I can go run away, I can drop down, I can do what I need to do. But this is what you should be doing. So let's see what your positioning is like for the rest of the game. You see what I mean? You're about to go to the same exact spot that you just got KO'd on. Yeah. Is it a habit? Like, do you feel like this is like default positioning gameplay for you, where it's like, I just load it in and this is kind of where I stand for now until I figure something out? Or do you feel like that's where you think you're the most safe?
I guess, what do you call it? Like, I guess, and like, because I was playing like Luna instead of like Adam, I guess my like just mentality of like where I should be and what I should be doing just kind of switched.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I just have to carry that same mentality of taking like off angles and like better positioning, like as Luna as well.
Right, and you have to remember that if anybody pounces on you, I guess you have something similar to Adam, which would be your hand clap, but you're still not as tanky as Adam. So you need to keep that in mind. One thing that I noticed though is you put yourself in harm's way quite a bit to heal. With Adam, obviously, snap your fingers. I don't have to look at you. Good job, you're healed. But with Luna, you do have to have that line of sight. And so now you're not even just positioning to do damage, but you're positioning to heal. In some instances, when you have characters like, let's just say this Groot, and you're like, I need to heal you. Well, in this particular moment, you can't see Groot. In this particular moment, you can't see, what's his face? You can't see either, right? Mm-hmm. And no matter where you stand, if you stand here, you can see, but you're in danger. You stand here, you still can't see. You can only see them. You kind of come over here, but you're in danger. So what do you do when your tanks are in a position where you can't heal them? How do you think you solve that?
Either just kind of peek and then go back, like kind of poke and then go back behind cover, or just wait for them to get into a position where you could see them.
Beautiful. Yeah, exactly. I like your latter answer more than your former, especially because these are random players and you don't know them. But I would, you kind of have to keep in mind that it's up to them to be good tanks. Bro, if you guys don't know how to tank with a Luna, we're going to lose. Like, you need to back up. And so this is what we talk about when we discuss every moment in Marvel Rivals are team fights. Team fight, team fight, team fight. Based off of this positioning, this team fight is lost. They have no line of sight. Your DPS aren't even around. This is it. So what we need to do is just retreat, back up, let everybody KO, reset, and try to have a team fight elsewhere. But trying to salvage what we have here is just staggers your team. Trying to salvage basically means that if they KO, you'll get KO'd next, and then your DPS might come and try to save you, and they get KO'd. And we're just staggering. Sometimes it's up to you to be the authority figure and just be like, all right, I mean, we're not winning this fight. I'm leaving. Yeah, people might get upset at you, but if you want to climb, you're gonna look different. Your gameplay is always gonna look different if you don't deserve to be in the rank that you're in. Right? It only looks similar to everybody else. Everybody's only happy with your gameplay if you belong in the rank, because that's all that they know. This is why when you see people smurfing, if you've ever even really smurfed, you know that when you're playing correctly, you're flamed, and it's kind of like, bro, what? But that's because they're not used to it. So again, you have to be that. I do that fight was lost before any of that just took place. I just seen where Groot was standing, and I was like, it's game over. But it took you to KO, to come back to KO, to figure that out yourself. If we can identify this more often, if we can identify that, hey, this team fight is over, let me retreat and let's set up again, you're going to win a lot more team fights than you think. The more you're off the map, the less you get ult charge. And yeah, like I said, they're going to get KO'd, but you have a whole 3 points to play through. You have the next round to play through, and if it goes into overtime, you got even more time. So don't feel forced to go out of position more often than not just to help him. That's not your problem. As much as I know you want to heal him, he should be good enough to run away. There's no way he KOs. You should be focused on where can I go next to get away from her. Because if I see him and I'm like, I can't get you, but then I turn and oh, now who's out of position?
Yeah, it's me.
So I think let me put this here. I don't ever use this, but I'm gonna try. Let's see. I'm gaming. Okay, so first thing is positioning. That's just massive right now. We really need to fix that. And it's not even just your positioning specifically. I'll just say based on your team. Your positioning for the enemy is good, but the positioning for your team makes your positioning for the enemy bad. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Okay. And then the second thing is just going to be knowing when fights are lost. Once we get these two things down packed, you're going to be surprised how much more your performance improves. So through this replay, we're going to focus on those two things, and obviously I'm going to see if there's anything else as well, but that's right now clearly is the bulk of what we're seeing here. You got him, which is nice, right? The cool part about Luna, though, I will say, is that the snowflake does help quite a bit. But again, that guy should never needed you. Now, do you feel like we're in a good spot right here, or?
I think we're in an okay spot. I mean, I don't really have any.
Okay, my bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say I don't have any like real threats that I'm seeing right now. So yeah, I'd say the positioning is decent. I can see my team, I can see the enemy team, but I still have kind of a place to go if something happens.
Can you get a little bit further away and still assist with this fight?
Yeah, so then no, I'd have to just kind of lock in on that same spot right there.
So if we
back up, no, I can't really see them as much.
Don't think you can see them from here?
Well, okay. Yeah, I guess, yeah, I could see them, but just say like they move up a little bit. Like just say they go like past like the Groot thing, I feel like they just kind of lose my vision.
But why would they walk past that though?
Yeah, there's no reason why they would.
Right, this is just identifying how the fights are going to play out. Every fight has two sides. So, you know, you have your side, which is safe zone, and then you have their side, which is enemy zone. In what world would your tank find a reason to walk into the enemy zone without them retreating backwards first? It doesn't make sense, right? It'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
So in that regard, you should be able to identify when your team can push forward. We only push forward when we have the advantage. If we have the advantage, that's because something must have happened on that side that allowed us to have the advantage, which means you should know when that happened. So let's watch this and just see if they move forward. Based off context right now, I don't think they should move forward at all. I mean, yeah, no, they're trolling if they move forward. But let's see what happens. So they're pretty much in the same spot, more or less, right? I mean, they did try to do something a little bit funky, but clearly that didn't work. And then they went back to the same thing. Okay, we kind of got to figure out where we're going to go after the ult, because you are in a really awful spot. Yeah, there wasn't nothing you can do. But you see what I mean? It's like you're allowing these really horrible fights to play out. And the thing about this rank is that players abuse the smallest thing that you do, the smallest thing. And you're just caught in the crossfire. This whole fight, it wasn't you. If these people paid attention, this is a really crappy spot for the entire team to be in right now. Where is my supports going to stand? Where are my DPS going to stand? This is horrible, but they're not thinking about that. Maybe they don't tank. Maybe they do tank. They just don't care about your team. I mean, who knows? But it's going to be up to you to tell them to back up with your pings, or it's going to be up to you to find a safer spot, even if here, even if you can just get yourself up here and try to do something. And the goal is to do as much as you can without KOing. If you get pressured off by Magic, you get pressured off by Magic. That's what she's designed to do. It's not your job to try to wiggle through Magic and try to heal people. Do you feel like your job as a support is to just, as long as I keep you guys alive, we should be okay? Like, how do you view strategists?
Well, yeah, I guess my general kind of mindset is that, like, if people are low, you heal them, and if everybody's healed, then you have to do damage. But yeah, I generally feel like that's kind of how you impact the game, or that's how I think about it, is like making sure people don't die.
Yeah, and I'm glad that you are experiencing this, because a lot of players experience this, especially players in lower ranks, and this is why I like to record. Let me actually make sure I am recording. Sometimes I forget. Okay, I am. But this is why I like to record, because the type of stuff that you're bringing up is the stuff that a lot of people deal with. And so although it seems like it's directed towards you, a lot of people have the same questions. A lot of people have the same fears. And so that's why I'm always glad as a support player, when you do get a session, that there's so much to learn. Because this is what people don't talk about. And I'm one of those players that climbed all 3 roles, and I know exactly what you're going through, and I know exactly how I tend to remediate. It might not be your version, but you can alter what I say, and you can put it in your own type of gameplay plan. For me personally, when I'm dealing with situations like this, especially when they're tanking in really awkward spots, as I said, I'll try to be safe, and I'll try to do what I can for you. But at the end of the day, if what you're doing is incorrect, we have to let you suffer, and we do what we can to win. Yeah, we might not win that team fight, but the goal isn't to win the team fights. Look at the top. What is actually the goal of the game mode?
Yeah, to stop the what's it called, the convoy?
Right. And we just need to stall until 0. Pretty much that's what we have to do. So if, let's just say, this fight here, you were up here and you healed a little bit, and you can heal them and heal them and heal them, and you just took 3 seconds off the clock. That's better than 0. Because what happens when you're KO'd? Can you heal? Right. So essentially, you're doing less than you think by trying to do more.
Yeah.
Play your game. I know it doesn't seem like that's going to win you the game, but more often than not, it does. And if if anyone's ever really seen me play support, especially on stream, or with me in my games, I'm kind of selfish, you'll know that I don't do this. This is not okay, because I know that I'm better than you. And I don't mean that in like a toxic way. You need to feel like that if you want to climb ranked. You're better than these guys. So you need to tell yourself that every single match. You're not in a rank with, and I know you just got here, so your confidence might not be there yet, but whenever you play a ranked mode, you need to think to yourself, do I want to climb? Yes. Okay. And am I good enough to do it? Yes. So the people in this rank aren't going to see the rank that your goal is because they're here and you won't be here for that long. If they make a mistake, you got to let them make that mistake themselves or themselves. Because, as I said before, what do you learn doing that?
Yeah, nothing.
But if you stayed alive and then they ended up losing, you can think to yourself, could I have actually done something in that fight? Maybe not. But if you KO instantly, you definitely ain't doing nothing in that fight.
Yeah.
Same thing. I just want you to get a better position. Oh, go ahead.
So if we go back to the when I died using the Luna ult, so like when I remember when I moved up to try to save the 2 tanks, is that what I should have done in that situation, or do you think like what would be the appropriate decision to make in that scenario?
It doesn't seem like you moved up to save the tank. It seems like you moved up to try to get Ultron out the air.
No, I mean once I was like in.
Oh, once you're already there. Okay. I was like, I don't know what game you're watching, but this one. So yeah, like right here, I do understand you were trying to ult for the Scroll Girl ult, and obviously just because you want to save them from just the whole chaos that's happening, you need to try to find your out before the ultimate runs out. You could, and this is a new map, of course, but you could go up here to then go up there and then go up here, and you're safe. You can go ahead and try to come this way, and you'll partially be safe. But you need to try to find your out before the duration runs out. And a lot of people try to. How deep are you into Luna? Did you like just start and like maybe you have a few hours, or are you like 10, 20 hours deep into her?
Hold on, let me check. I can actually tell you right now. So if we go to statistics and then all season competitive. Oh, I mean, I've played it for like 10 hours.
Okay, so you're still kind of in that.
So in comparison, I have like 106 hours on Adam.
Yeah, so you're still in that new phase of the character. One thing you do not want to do as Luna Snow is stay for the entire duration. People might think you're trolling, but you cannot end the duration of your ult in the middle of a team. You're never going to survive it. You have to start healing out well before. A good thing that I try to do is I try to like wiggle myself so like they know that I'm retreating and they're not just blindsided by the fact that I'm moving away. If you just kind of like wiggle back and forth like, okay, I'm leaving now, then they know to follow you or they just are aware that you're leaving. This is the best way to do it. And I would say give yourself about 5 seconds before the duration's over to try to readjust and move somewhere else. One of the major mistakes new Luna players generally do is try to stay for the entire duration. And in some maps, that's okay. In some team fights, it's okay. But you know that when you ult, they're going to ult. And the ult that they're going to have is Cloak and Dagger, which means you're stuck in that ult. Until your support, well, Rocket just got KO'd, so he can't even ult that ult. So you're really doomed. Like, this fight is already lost. So yeah, you'd have to bail out well before this. There was nothing you can do after Rocket KO'd. Do you pay attention to the feed? Is that the feed awareness something that you struggle on a little bit? Or you're usually pretty aware?
I turned on the noises when somebody dies. But I don't know. I guess I didn't do a very good job in that.
Every game, just to make it easier, because you don't need to care about your entire team. That's unrealistic. But every game, you need to figure out on your team, if this person were to KO, do we even have a fighting chance anymore? In this given scenario, we didn't have Cloak and Dagger. They just selected this, but I don't think this was the play. We needed 2 tanks. But regardless of that, welcome to Grandmaster. Have fun. With the lineup that we have now, if Rocket were to KO, do you feel like you need to bail? Like this is just a lost fight at this point?
I mean, we have Cloak as well, so maybe not.
Right. So you know if the KO feed happens and one of your healers KOs, it's not over. You guys can still manage to do something. Let me ask you this though. Let's just say you ulted right then and there and you seen Rocket KO. You press the tab button real quick and you notice that Cloak and Dagger doesn't have ultimate. Do you feel at that point we probably should bail?
I guess, yeah, then that would be the
Right,
Well,
because if you
yeah.
ult, they're gonna ult right after you, and if they don't, there's no other ult to compensate. You're gonna lose.
How do you keep track of like where the enemy? Because obviously, when you tab, you can't see like the percentages of like the other team's ults, right?
hmm Um,
So like, yeah.
the easiest way to do this is to just, again, Marvel Rivals. The whole match is just team fights all over the place. Did they use the ult last team fight? If not, it's gonna be during this one.
Hmm.
It's just a very easy way that I do it. If they used it last team fight and you used yours last team fight and you don't have yours yet, they probably don't have theirs yet either.
Yeah.
And so, just kind of relatively speaking, it's a feeling rather than just a knowing for sure. If your support didn't ult last team fight and theirs didn't either, then it's probably safe to assume that, again, both of them have it. But you don't need to track everyone's. It's just a feeling. And once you start paying a little bit more attention to it, you will get down it and you'll get used to it. Hey, I still don't like you in these spots. I'm gonna just assume it's this map and the combination of it you're playing Luna, because our position has like fallen really short, and I'm only being extremely I'm only giving you so much constructive criticism because I know where you want to go and you're not getting there where you are right now. Like, you've lost a lot of your positioning skill since the last time that we talked, and I want you to know this, right? You need to know this. It's something you got to improve on. Once we fix this, you're gonna notice a lot of things just start to fall in line. Did you feel like your positioning started to suffer once you played her, or do you feel like you were playing fine and just we were chilling? Like, how do you feel on your personal performance when you're playing your matches?
So there was like I was on like a pretty decent like win streak before this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then like I actually had like a pretty good game like at GM1,
Mm-hmm.
and then I think like after that is kind of when everything started to go like downhill.
Okay. Do you feel like that also altered your gameplay? Because there's times where it's even happened on stream where I would start winning and then I'll lose like one or two, and then I notice my gameplay just suffering. It could just be subconscious, it could be whatever, but I'm losing now. Like, do you feel like maybe once you were on your high, the high stopped after you lost maybe once or twice, and then you just started playing worse? Or do you feel like maybe you just got tired that day? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, I mean, if I'm being honest with you, I'm very tired almost every time I play, but like,
I feel that.
but like, I just think it was something that I just didn't, I just wasn't consciously thinking about it. Right now, I was consciously thinking about healing people and doing damage. That was literally the only thing I was thinking about.
Mm-hmm.
Because like as Adam Warlock, like if you like when I play Adam Warlock, my goal is to start out in the middle and then find an off angle and kill their supports.
Right.
And then if one support dies, now I kind of play like how Luna's playing. So I think of even when I'm in heal mode, even when I'm okay, let me keep my teammates up mode, I still have to think about, okay, where am I positioning myself to make sure I don't easily die and I can easily heal the team.
Right. Right. Okay. Um, I will say that the higher you get, of course, the more you're going to be punished. Doesn't matter what the mistake you might be making is, you are going to be punished a little bit more. So maybe you initially, not saying you do right now, but just maybe you initially thought you had a good positioning and then you got picked off somehow. You know, that type of stuff happens. And it's up to you to kind of think about that decision and think, was I actually positioning well? Or was I not? Like, what happened there? Sometimes you get positioned like a god and still get blasted. It happens. But it's really up to you to be honest with yourself. Whenever I play support on stream, or whenever I play support on my main account, because sometimes, people ego and you just got to do it. That's one of my highest priorities. Where can I stand? That is rule number one when I play strategist, is like, where can I position? I'm in a bad position, I have to readjust mid-fight, and if I have to readjust mid-fight, I'm not healing anymore. And if I'm not healing anymore, we're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
That catalyst for why we lose a team fight is what makes me think more about where I should position. And so that's something that I just kind of want you to think about when you play strategists. It's like, where's the best place to position to heal first? Because at this end of the day, the primary job of a strategist is to make sure that everybody else is all right. Adam Warlock has, his caveats, but even With him, it is, I need to make sure that everybody's okay. It's just easier for you to heal them because you don't need to look, but he still has that type of thought process. When you're playing Luna, it's harder to pull off what Adam does. And the way that you heal is by doing your, line of sight primary fight. So that should be your goal. Where can I stand to get heals first? If you can figure out where you can stand to heal, the rest of the stuff falls into place. If we look at this team fight and you're asking yourself, where do I need to stand to heal the people right here? You can pick a whole bunch of spots. You can pick maybe on this ramp.
So wait, hold.
Oh, go ahead.
So I was gonna say, just to, kind of like as an exercise, like you just say, hey, were to do this one again, like would you like to see me more on like the top right, like by the ramp on that staircase, or more towards the left behind the kind of like that block?
Good question. There's actually quite a bit of spots you can be here because this spot is so weird. But yeah, you can be on the ramp, kind of use the ramp as cover. Being up here is a little bit too close to the action. We talked about that. You don't want to be too close. Being up here is also too close, but if they were pushed further back, you could be up here. This block is fine. If they start to come at you, you run this way. If they come at you from this way, you can just run that way. Or maybe run back. Your spawn is here. You can even be up here, up here. Your goal is to just be able to see your team first. After you can see your team, then you can adjust and think about the other stuff as well. If you're looking to see the enemy, which is in cover, it's going to force you to be a little bit more up. If you're a little bit more up further than you need to, now you're starting to be in the enemy zone where they can actually take you out. And that's always something you just want to be more cautious about. I will say positioning with strategists comes down to this one thing, and it's going to be called setting up. If you can set up before the team fight, you're able to be in a perfect spot almost every single time. Team fights have phases in this game. The first phase is poke. The second phase is like, we're just going all out crazy. And then the third phase is either we are going to have to reposition backwards and find the next fight, or we can move forward and reposition and set up there. So I guess you can essentially just boil it down to two if you really don't want to be too crazy about it, right? You have the pre-fight phase, then you have the actual the fight phase. These are the common two phases you're going to be in. So we can actually go back real quick. And we could see, do you have time to set up? And this is the sucky part about when you KO yourself. You miss out on setup time. This then stems and starts leading to snowballing, which means you don't have a way to set up anymore, and they're going to run through you repeatedly. And then it feels like you can't breathe. That's all what happens when you decide to stick into a fight that you already lost. You lose out on that first step. Mm-hmm. So realistically, let's just say you were still ready to be alive here. That never happened. You noticed the fight was going bad. You reposition. The convoy, whatever they want to call it, group is there. You have how long it takes to get there. We could say it's about 10 seconds. So you have about 10 seconds to position wherever you want to and get ready for the next fight. Obviously, you don't want to position in front of your tanks. So if your tanks decide to position here or here, you have to be a little bit further back. But if we were maybe here, this is a really odd spot, I know. But if we were maybe here, we could probably launch some shots at them. This could possibly make them hold up and not push you anymore. Possibly. Just depends on what they're feeling. If they are going to still push you, you're going to need to back up a little bit more and think about somewhere else to stand. You can even play here. This is still a nice spot. It's hard for them to hit you, but you can still see your team should they position. As we're in our setup phase, we're still chilling here, right? And everything's going well. And then we start noticing some poke happening. And we're still here. We're still doing heals. We can still do damage and stuff from here. And then maybe it's like, okay, my team was able to give us a little bit more space to occupy because they started moving forward. This means that I can probably move up and occupy more space because you're playing off your team. You're not just going to have space yourself. So in that instance, you have to think about it. Well, do I want to go this way or do I want to go this way? Well, if you go this way and you start playing up here, I mean, you can, but it's just such a really awkward spot. If you had to heal him, you'd have to look this way. Then you have to heal Johnny. Then you have to heal. This is weird. This is just strange. Like you wouldn't really want to play in this location. But if we were to play here, like you said, behind the block, it's better. Is it the best though? Do you feel like healing here is the best?
I guess probably not, but I'm still not sure why.
Okay, so it's not the best for the reason of line of sight. From if we're standing here, the problem with this spot isn't the fact that you can't hit the team or you're not in cover. You have to heal one by basically tapping on each person, and this causes you to move your screen. That's one of the things we always talk about, right? What do I tell you? Try to make them move their screen. Why? Because it makes it so they have to focus on multiple things. If you have to look at him, her, well, that's you, but Groot and Rocket, you can't see. I can't see what's on the left side of me. What if someone comes behind me and just KOs me? What if it's magic? You just KO'd then, right? So that's bad. The same thing can be said here. Yeah, you're still in a better position. It's better than what's up there, but you're still doing the same thing. Look how much you turn your camera. So now we have to figure out, my character doesn't like to do that. My character doesn't like to turn my camera. So where's a good position, not only relative to my team and their team, but to the character that I play? This is why you have an easier time positioning with Adam, because you understand Adam. You have a harder time understanding Luna because you just got into her. So you have to figure out where's the best for her. It'd be somewhere like right here. Why? Because you do not have to turn your camera anymore, and the amount of flicking you need to do is very minimal. If I'm here and I have to aim here, boom, you're hit. Look up, boom, you're hit. Boom, you're hit. Boom, you're hit. Versus having to literally wiggle your screen all over the place. So you could see how, oh, this is a good position. Oh, this is a good position. But then when we factor in Luna, it's a bad position. We don't go here. We don't go there. That's how every support works. This is why Rockets can be a little bit more weird in their positioning. Like, honestly, he shouldn't position here either. This is not a good position because he's not valuing the orb bouncing. The orb bouncing is broken, especially if he can bounce it off a target, bounce off the wall, bounce back into the target. That's bonus healing. But this guy doesn't understand this because he doesn't play Rocket, probably failed. The more you can get the most out of your character, the easier it is for then you to comprehend the other concepts of the game. This is why I always say one tricking is not a bad idea. Like, it's perfectly okay. I want you to focus more on what Luna likes, and then you can start defaulting into how you would play as a true support. And once you start doing that, you'll probably realize how much easier it is for you to play better. I also noticed you're really focused on doing damage. You gotta calm down. Yeah, you see, you're doing it right now. Minimal flicking. But you see how you're able to walk forward? You were able to walk forward because your team pushed forward. That does not mean you're able to just do it again. So I hope you do not walk forward again thinking that it was okay the first time, and the only time you were able to walk forward was because he allowed you. So hopefully you don't walk forward. You're fine. I would just kind of maybe just come from here. The goal of cover is just not to keep you safe, but to just minimize how much damage you take.
Yeah.
I like it. Nice. Okay. Now he's in a weird spot. What do? Do we try to find another spot for Groot to try to heal him? Or do we just wait until he comes back?
Well, you'd wait until he comes back. I'm pretty sure I'd drop down in the middle. Yeah.
You return back to where you originally were, which is good. But yeah, don't let it kind of... All it took was for someone to catch you slipping like that. That's very anal, and I know it is, but... Dude, the type of crap you get KO'd by when you get to ranks like this is ridiculous. So I just want to mention it. You do have to be very cautious about like little things like that, even if it's half a second, because that's what they're looking for. I like this. Keep walking this way, though, if you need to. Be cautious, because obviously, but it's okay to kind of catch your breath real quick and then appear back out. I like what you're doing. Okay, you know that she's going to be looking for you. Now, this is something we noticed because she said Dark Child, so you know she's going to look for some AoE cleave damage. You decide to ignore her and move out the way. Continue to fight forward. Could you have actually saved her?
Yeah. Maybe I could have.
Yeah, I think you could have. Were you just not confident, or you were just like, I don't want to be next?
I don't even know. I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I just didn't consider, like, I was just not trying to die and keep the people in front of me alive.
I got you. You turn now, but there's not much you can do. In situations like this where you know you're not going to win the 1v1 ever against a character, ignore him. Ignore him and just move around. Turning around doesn't do anything for you. Now, once you have your hand clap, I would turn around, but just without it, you weren't gonna do anything. There's no reason to look. Yeah, pretty much just like this. Wait, why did you do this now instead of before?
Yeah, I think I realized what you were saying. I was like, yeah, there's no way
Yeah.
I'm gonna get this. So I just kind of ignored her.
Yeah, I don't know.
But then I feel bad because my rocket died.
No,
And
that
then,
was skill. That's skill issue from Rocket, for sure. That was not your fault. This game seems like nobody's on the right page. Like everybody's doing what everybody wants to do. That's
yeah.
literally what this match is like right now. Okay, what do we talk about? What do we talk about?
Where you want to stand.
Right. Why did we go here? Remember that line that we talked about? Who's occupying this space? Is it your team or theirs?
Theirs.
Right. So why do we feel like we can just bully ourselves into the situation?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and it's something that a lot of supports struggle on. Even in top 5, I've had some of them in my game, and they still do it. It's just not something you think about consciously. But when you start doing it more and more and more, you will start noticing it more and more and make it happen less and less. We're always going to make mistakes. We're humans, so don't ever try to get your gameplay perfect. But the difference that I always say between high ranks and low ranks is high ranks just do it less. All right. So we're going to be trying to play from the left outside. I see you. Okay. Getting your reload on. Okay, coming out. Nice. Doing the same thing again, though. For some reason, we're just in the open. You have cover. Just move here for now. And assess the situation. I want you safe. That's the key component right now into your gameplay. It's just we're not safe. Just be safe. Okay, we're moving forward. Do we have to?
Yeah, probably not.
Right, you can reach them. I know for a fact her heal does not have fall-off damage. No healer, I think, has fall-off damage when it comes to healing. You can be across the map.
Healing?
Yeah, for when it comes from when it's a primary fire, and even if you're really far away, as long as you can connect to your ally, the heal is always the same. I do know that because I actually looked that up to see each healer. In terms of her damage, I think it does fall off, but in terms of the heal, it does not. So you could be really, really far away. And remember, what is your main goal first?
To heal.
Exactly. And it might seem very like, well, you can't carry a game. You just heal. You're not heal body. You're doing what's necessary at that time. If we need healing, we need healing. It doesn't matter what you feel like, because we're not going to win without the healing. So like right now, do you feel like you need to do damage, or do you feel like we can kind of do some healing?
Well, I mean, I feel like Hulk was fine. Like he wasn't gonna die. And so I feel like it would have been a little bit more like impactful if I did damage in like this specific scenario.
Okay, but look at the way that you're doing damage. Do you feel like you have a goal in mind in terms of what you're aiming at, or do you feel like you're just flinging it and hoping to smack somebody with something? Doesn't matter who.
Yeah, the latter.
Right. So how about we heal until we get into position to hit a specific target that we're looking to hit.
Mm-hmm.
That way, we're not wasting precious ammo or precious healing on nothing and accomplishing nothing when we could just be giving it to this guy and continuously getting ult charge for free, allowing them to play as well. So you gotta heal him anyway. Imagine you just healed him as you walked here, and then you started fighting. He's full. But now you have to backtrack yourself and be like, all right, let me heal you real quick, and then go back to your game. Nice. Now let's check, peek at him. See, now I think you did have him at full HP, and now you're able to turn around and fight. And if you look back, he's okay. I mean, he's not like okay, but he's not KO'd, right?
Yeah.
This is what happens when you keep them topped off and then fight when you have the opportunity, rather than just trying to always look for fights. Mm-hmm. You're not always going to be able to KO everything you throw at. Like, you have to have a reason to want to fight. Remember, the goal of the game is to push this thing forward. If you don't have to fight anybody to do it, then don't fight anybody. Mm-hmm. Why do we feel like we have to start doing damage to like Doctor Strange when we see him? Or even when we were opening here, why did you feel like you needed to do damage? If the goal of the game is this, what are we doing extra stuff for? And that's not to patronize you. I'm literally just asking you, like, why do you feel like you have to do more?
I guess that's just what I kind of assumed.
Okay. Yeah.
Like I feel like anybody can heal bot, but in order to get to like I don't know a higher rank, you kind of have to start doing more. So that's what I was kind of focused on.
There's a difference between aggression and calculated aggression. If you want to be a really good player, you got to be a calculated. You got to be having more calculated aggression. The thing about a Magic player that walks in and just spams, as much as I hate that freaking character, that walks in and spams, versus a Magic player that kind of chills out for a second and waits to one shot somebody, who do you think is going to climb higher?
Yeah, the second.
You're right. You're no different. Just because you pop damage and damage and damage doesn't mean anything. They heal your damage. What are you accomplishing? You're not providing more space for your team by doing damage. None of that. But then when we hit the Ultron, remember when you hit the Ultron up there, he moved. You forced him to move. That wasn't random damage. I mean, maybe at the time when you were fighting him, it was like, bro, I'm bloodthirsty. But like realistically, in hindsight, that wasn't just random gameplay. You had a goal to move the guy out of your team's view. Play like that all the time. Sometimes you can fight, sometimes you can't. I think a good character for you to play and try that with is Rocket. I know it seems weird. I don't know if you want to do it in your ranked games, but play Rocket and then try to alternate between actually throwing your orbs out and doing damage. He is the type of character. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I used to play Rocket. That's actually my second most player, but I just can't. His primary fire is just so weird. I can't do it.
It is. But the concept of alternating between doing damage and healing is the same as what you would have with Luna, or the same that you would have with any other character that needs to fight and heal at the same exact time. Mm-hmm. Knowing when to alternate between the two is when you become a really, really good player. So even if you watch people in like the top 500 playing Luna Snow, I guarantee you they're not always looking for fights. But look at right now. There's nothing else to do but fight. Why are we fighting this guy? He's out of position. You're not just randomly throwing stuff at them.
Yeah.
And we already know you can aim. I said that already. Like, I got boomerang, but you can aim. But there's a difference between... There's a reason why I can climb easier. Again, I don't play off of mechanics. I play off of game knowledge. If I know that I only need to fight you during this 1 moment window, that's when I'll fight you. Otherwise, I'm chilling. Even right here, you're more looking to fight when you should be thinking about what? Before the fight, we want to do what? I said it before.
Oh, set up?
Beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Why are we wasting time just flinging stuff when we could think about where can we stand next? Because what's going to happen is a fight's going to break out, and you got to think on your feet of where to stand next. And guess what? If you have to switch your camera, who are you healing?
What do you mean switch my character?
If you have to like switch your camera around, who are you healing then?
Oh, nobody.
Nobody.
Yeah.
If we already thought about where we're going to stand before anything breaks out, you don't have to worry about that. Mm-hmm. So we should be looking for that. We can even come in here if you want. Just be somewhere where you know that you can continuously do your job. But let's see. Let's play this out. And we'll see, did we really need to set up or not? Oh, you wouldn't be getting hit by this guy if you were in a better spot, right?
Yeah.
But now you're focused on him and not focused on your team. What happens? Oh my god, my tank has problems because he wasn't paying attention to the fact that Strange was behind us. Which is not really his fault. I mean, realistically, if you've tanked, you know for a fact you can't really have eyes in the back of your head 24/7. Mm-hmm. But this is what you're trying to position for. They're going to do dumb things. Every teammate does dumb things, but it's up to you to make it easier for them to play the game.
Yeah.
Now you're all in the middle. You didn't set up. Now we got to try to survive this entire fight while in a really, really odd position. It works out, but did this work out the last round?
No.
Exactly. This is why I'm so anal on it. Because sometimes you're not punished, but if you just don't do it, you don't got to worry about being punished for it. Nice. Again, we're fighting because she's trapped. Like, what are you doing there? That was troll. So you got a free KO for it. That's how we always want to view the fights. Heal first. Because don't think of it as heal botting. Again, that's not what you're doing. You just have nothing. You just have nothing else valuable to do. If you get more value out of healing your team, then why not heal your team? Right?
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna ask. We just got like it didn't happen.
I thought I was gonna die there. That's why I just kind of pre-popped the ult.
I got you.
Like when I got trapped by the squirrel girl, I was just like, oh shoot.
Dude, this guy is playing. This guy's crazy. This Doctor Strange wants your number. I mean, if you weren't there, you wouldn't gotten ulted. But that guy really is flank heavy. He's been doing this for this whole round, so we should be adjusting our gameplay for that.
Yeah.
You feel like you did coming later into the round, or you feel like you just kept getting away with that?
No, yeah, no.
You see how much harder it is for you to try to find somewhere to set up every time you're mid-fight? Like, I don't know if you notice it yourself when you're in match, but based off your movement, you can tell that you don't know where to go anymore to do what you're trying to do, and
Yeah,
you're really trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's I had no idea.
That's what happens when you don't set up, man. It's hard. If you're under pressure, if you move, you're getting shot. Like, what do I do? This is why we need to set up. So that way you already know where to stand. This is why it's good to know the map. This map is new though, so I can't fault you for that, but I will say, just for anybody watching this, including yourself of course, high ground on this map is like your best friend. There's so much of it, so try to abuse it when you can. I like it, but I just want you to reposition. Just walk yourself back a little bit. Or if you really, really, really want to, just step over.
Yeah.
Because like, what's your goal? It's to heal at this point, right? Really looking to fight. This guy's low. Oh no. Oh no. Clutch save? See how I kind of already know when you're gonna get KO'd when you do this? I've been in your shoes. Yeah. I've been KO'd 30,000 bajillion million times, man. I know exactly what it looks like. But that's what you need to learn, what it looks like. You need to know when you're not in a good spot and when you'll get picked off. Here's an easy way to just kind of break this down as a healer, right? Look at their team, and you want to figure out who's actually a threat to you. Wolverine's kind of, but the odds of him running through an entire team to get to you is pretty low. So the only way he gets you is if you got misposition. You don't have to worry about it. Rocket, if he KOs you, you're trolling. So let's be honest. Strange, this guy doesn't necessarily need to be a problem, but we noticed during this match he likes to flank. So he starts to come up in priority. Maybe at the start you're like, Strange, whatever. But as you see him play, you have to adjust your play style for that specific player. So that is a problem. Squirrel Girl, not necessarily a problem, but what's something about Squirrel Girl that makes her a problem?
You can't like stay in the same spot and like kind of all be in the same space, because then she could just throw like grenades in there and like just destroy everyone. Beautiful.
Exactly the point. So we can't really KO by her, but we got to keep an eye out for her. So we'll kind of say like, maybe. If you get KO'd by a cloak and dagger, I mean, out of position, and most of the time that's not gonna happen either. So you have two characters to worry about this entire match. Let's move on from here and let's just see how we end up KO'd and see if we can position better for those two characters. So one thing about Squirrel Girl is what? It's very easy to hit things on the ground, but when you shoot things in the air with Squirrel Girl, do you think you have the same accuracy?
No.
Right, so we need to try to get above her at all times, if possible. Okay, you come up here, beautiful, I like it. And you're trying to hit from here. This is wonderful. It looks like he's about to KO, unfortunately, but yeah. This is nice. Now I would just chill. Okay, now, if we think about it, we're not out of position, are we? Technically. No. You're in a good spot, but he got you. So what does that mean?
I wasn't focused on it.
No, I mean, I would get hit by this too. But this just means that we need to be more attentive to Wolverine moving forward. Yeah. That's all. Yeah. Because I would have got hit by that too. Like, no doubt. That was wild. That was wild. But does that mean we change positions?
No.
We should try to get our way back up there again. Or somewhere else that's high like that. Because that was not a bad spot. You just happened to get caught off guard. But you know next time that happens, you're not going to get caught off guard. But you didn't move! Oh my gosh! No! Not like this! Oh man, we knew that was not a good spot. But we sat there. Why do you think that happens? Why do you think that you sometimes have good spots and then you randomly just like go back?
It's just awareness. Like when you're not thinking about it and you're not like aware about it, you're just kind of doing whatever, you know.
Right.
And like the thing that I was aware about was just trying to do as much damage as possible, and that was leading to like a lot of really like bad situations like that.
And the bright side is, as an aggressive player, which you undoubtedly are, it's easier to teach you how to be passive than it is to teach a passive player how to be aggressive. Like you are way easy. You're gonna have a way easier time improving on this aspect because you already know what aggressive looks like. It just means you gotta stop doing a little bit. You gotta stop doing as much as you want to do. Basically, it's okay to relax. And I tell this to tanks all the time because tanks, for some reason, y'all want to go crazy, but they start losing games because of it. Sometimes you just gotta relax. You're back in the same spot you just got KO'd in.
Yeah.
Okay, I let it slide the last time. But this is a running thing this entire match.
Yeah.
Think how much more impact you would have in this match should you just fix this one little thing.
Yeah, that's true.
You'd have so much more impact. It takes you 2 seconds. Just kind of walk up here. Boop, go back up there. Oh, you even have a 2v1 happening right here. Maybe you'll adjust it. Let's see. Oh, you're still down here. He's still flanking. You're still caught in crossfire. You ult? I wouldn't have ulted. We already knew the rocket thing was there, but I think it was a panic ult. Looked like.
Yeah, I just didn't. I guess it just. I wasn't aware that the rocket had ulted.
That's okay. You're trying. I like how you're trying to reposition, but it just wasn't enough because he was just really, really deep. So there's situations like that where like healers think that they need to be close, and they feel like when I say they need to position better, they're like, well, in every video, their comments are like, well, these characters need to be close because of XYZ. Do you think that standing in a safe spot like this when your team was right there is too far away?
No.
Right. You're close enough, but you're still safe. This is what you want to think about. It's not about the distance between you and your team. It's just about how safe can you be with your team. Sometimes your team, which are your tanks, are going to have to go through really weird funneled areas. And it's not because your tanks suck, but for the most part, that's just how the game's played.
Yeah.
So you need to just be aware of that and try to find, like, there's spots everywhere. There's spots everywhere. This is a perfect spot, at least for now. If you can even break this, that's even better. I don't know if that can be broken though, because I don't really play there. But just given where you are right now, I mean, you're just free money for like a Hawkeye or a Hela player. And your positioning is not the only one that's kind of like off in this match. Everybody's positioning is off, but like your tanks. Even your tanks could fight up here. They don't need to fight down there. You're in a rank now where you guys are transitioning into like basic Marvel rivals into like actual real Marvel rivals. And so by the time you hit Celestial, you'll start to be able to be entering that realm of real Marvel rivals. And you'll see more and more and more of different positionings from these players. But you've been getting caught by the same exact thing this entire match, the same exact way. You're just a little bit too close. You're not in a safe spot for yourself. And the wild part, like I said, this is easy fix. This is easy fix, man. Just what? Position in a better spot and I can climb? Bro, you know how many players wish they could do that? Just have that one simple thing.
Yeah, I guess like sometimes, like especially there's like a really large discourse about like matchmaking and everything. I feel like once you really kind of like look in the at your gameplay and realize how many matches that like you kind of are throwing, you have a lot more agency to like get an outcome than like you would think. You know what I mean? Yeah,
and that's how I always feel when I play. When I'm streaming, I might whine a lot. I don't really whine, but I comment on a lot of things, and that's just what I do. But in the back of my mind, I know I need to improve on something, and I think about what it was during that match that I could have done better. Usually it's like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't have stayed in that fight that long, or maybe I should have waited for my team before I went in there. It's sometimes just little small stuff like that, and you just gotta self-check yourself when you lose games like these. Or if you just KO back to back, you really need to just start checking yourself. I usually check myself on every KO. If I KO once, I need to figure out, was it just a fluke or did some nonsense happen? In your circumstance, you just got hit by everything. You got crossfire. I would have been fixed that. Yeah. It wouldn't have taken 3, 4, 5 KOs to do that. And I only say that I would have been fixed that because, I'm a higher ranked player. And that's just kind of how we think. But in order for you to get there, you got to think just like that. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. You should not get fooled twice by the same exact thing. It's not something that you can do and expect to climb with. Again, that's how people beat people that's how Smurfs beat lower ranks. It's the same mistake just over and over and over and over again. And they don't really realize it. That guy wasn't really the Wolverine and the Strange, not to like BM any of you guys, if you guys are watching. They weren't that great. They just took advantage of you. How do you feel to know that you lost to someone worse than you, quote unquote, and they only took advantage of you and that's why they won?
Well, I guess that's it's a good feeling almost, because it's like, okay, it wasn't like I could have done something to actually, because like in the moment it felt like there was nothing I could do.
Right.
But now I kind of see what I was doing wrong. You have like a lot more agency than you initially thought.
Right. And that's why I climbed all 3 ranks, because I don't want to be someone who's like, I like Cap a lot, so I play a lot of them. And so I'm not going to be like a Cap main and be like, oh, to play support better, you need to, that wouldn't make no sense. Bro, I'm Cap. I don't follow rules anyway. But when I play your role, when I play DPS, when I play these roles and play these different type of characters, I know what it's like being in your shoes. Luna Snow is one of the weirdest characters for me because I don't really like the aesthetic too much for my personal taste, but B, that her kit feels weird to me. So I had to really struggle to get used to this character and be like, how do I play this character? But once I got used to it, I realized that a lot of my issues was positioning. With a character like that, it's positioning. Each character has their own little weaknesses, and hers is, if you position poorly, you are KO'd. Period. There is no way around it. There's no safety net for you. She's one of the most true blue Marvel Rivals supports in the game. If you can play her and master her, you can probably play any other the supports in the game. Adam Warlock is similar, but Adam Warlock low-key has a safety net, and his damage is way higher than Luna's. So you can get somebody off of you a little bit easier. For the most part, though, I think a lot of what you attribute or what you had in this game just kind of attributed to a new map and to you playing a character that you don't really play too often. If I were to say there's something that major that you can improve on, is number 1, checking yourself. Whenever you KO, you need to figure out why, and if it was because you were positioned poorly or if it was a fluke. The second thing is just, where can I be to heal? Your main goal is to heal. Your main goal is not to do damage. Your main goal, it doesn't even matter what rank you're in. Your goal is not to do damage. I did a bronze to that was a series I'm pretty sure you might have taken a look at, but bronze to diamond series when like the first 2 seasons started, 0 and 1. And even if I was in bronze, I was not just doing straight up damage. I was healing. And when I could do damage, that's when I did. Because when you don't need to heal anymore, you have room to play. But if you have to take the time from your downtime, so if we have uptime of like, okay, I need to heal, right? You're healing now, but you use this time instead to fight. When it's time to really fight and you can make impact and you can do things, guess what you got to do? Heal, because you just wasted it. This is why sometimes it feels you can't do anything. You're doing the wrong things at the wrong moment. Every single point in this game is a team fight. And if you're doing the wrong thing at the wrong time, if you're not able to set up because you're KO'd, the pacing matters way more in higher ranks. There kind of is no pacing in lower ranks, man. Everybody just runs at each other and just says whoever comes out on top wins. But not in these ranks. There's a lot more thought process that needs to go in how you play the match. And the more you think about it like that, the easier it is for you to climb. And then the last thing that I think is like a major thing is just knowing when the fight is over. This is a skill that you really don't use in lower ranks, but as you're starting to transition to Grandmaster to Celestial, this is a skill you need to learn. When a fight is over, you save so much time. Like, you save so much time just leaving. Because if you leave, and I'm Rocket, and I notice you leave, what do you think I'm about to do?
Yeah, I leave too.
You're right. And if Winter Soldier sees Rocket leave and you leave, what's he about to do?
Yeah, same thing.
Exactly. But if Groot stays, then you stay. Rocket stays. Everybody's about to stay. Right? And that leads into a team wipe, and you just don't want that. And it's so crazy. As much as we might hate our teammates, we do things subconsciously to help them. And that's what leads us into losing a match. You have to step out of your teammate zone because that's not what you are. You're not teammates, quote unquote. You are associates. Okay? You guys work together. That's it. We working to get this win. I don't know you. I don't want to know you. Okay? Your problems ain't my problems. Right? If you work, right, that your coworkers, unless you really get to know them, what are they? I'm just here to accomplish a goal to get paid, bro. That's what this is. If that coworker does something stupid and get them written up, are you about to be like, oh no, don't worry, I'm gonna get written up too for you? No. You gonna let them get written up and you're gonna continue to do your job. That's how it is when you're playing strategists. Bro, if a tank decides to tank in a really strange spot, that's on you, fam. Good luck. It's not my problem. He's gonna either learn and he's not gonna do it anymore, or you're gonna lose anyway. But I'd rather take that chance for him to learn and, improve than just follow what he does. We're all KOing, everybody's flaming each other, and we just wasted our lives during one match. You know what I mean? So have confidence in your gameplay and just be like, I'm better than you guys, man. If these fights ain't working, I'm leaving. I needed to position in the spot. I need to set up. If you do end up KO'd, because setting up is a hard thing, if you do end up KO'd and you feel like you can't set up and you have to run back, try to set up before you get to the fight. Like, just figure out a spot maybe a little bit further back that you can use, and then inch your way forward when you can. And that would help you out a lot too. But those are the main things that I've seen. Like I said, if there's one major thing, it's just relax. Heal comes first, position better, and you'll be good. These issues that you're having aren't even bad issues. They're just like in the moment issues, and then as you get KO'd once or twice, it compounds, and you just start losing your patience, and you just start playing really weird. That happens to all of us. That's not how you normally play, so I wouldn't be too worried about it. Before we conclude here, you got any other questions, comments, or concerns, though?
No, not at the moment.
All right. I'm actually glad that you showed this game because, it might seem like I was grilling, but this is the type of game that you need to be looked at if you really want to become a higher ranked player. You're not going to get far with the other games because you're not getting abused. You need to learn why you're getting abused and how to fix it. All you did to lose this game was get abused. That's all.
Yeah.
That can be fixed easily. I've seen you play for real, so that's nothing. You got this, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you, bro.
No problem. Have a good rest of the evening. And if you got any questions or anything like that pop up, maybe it's not working, just hit me with a message, send me the replay code, be like, hey, at 3 minutes or at 10 minutes, this was what happened. It didn't work. I can, see what's going on and send you a message back, all right?
All right, bet. Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good one.
No problem. You too. Bye-bye. All right, and to the rest of you guys, hope you guys enjoyed the coaching session. A huge thank you to, you have 2 names, don't you? You have 3 if you count your marbles. But a huge thank you to you. As I said before, this game, not a lot of players, when they get coaching or get VOD reviews, want to show a game like this. But this type of game right here being shown goes to show A, how much the player's looking to improve, but B, goes to show that they're serious about getting to the rank that they want to get to. It's not always about looking good. It's more about what you can learn. So again, huge thank you for sharing this type of game. It's a great learning experience for not only you, but for everybody else watching it. So yeah. As always, though, if you guys would like coaching, make sure you click that link down below. It's down there. Or if you want your free VOD review, that's also down there as well. But thank you guys for watching. And until next time, you know what I always say. You guys are doing what? Popping often. We'll often it.